Well, the Department of Homeland Security is announcing plans to house thousands of migrants at military bases in New Jersey and Indiana, prompting fierce opposition from Democrats. CB Cotton is live in New York with more. Hi, CB.
Hey, Rich. Yeah, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth reportedly told lawmakers this plan would not negatively impact military operations, but Democrats are blasting the decision as inhumane, whereas Republicans have expressed a willingness to help the administration as it struggles with detention capacity. Right now, though, there's no timeline on when either military base will start housing illegal migrants. So parts of Joint Base McGuire-Dick Lakehurst in New Jersey and another site, Camp Atterbury in Indiana, will be repurposed and used as, quote, temporary soft-sided holding facilities, the Defense Department told Fox News Digital. Both bases were previously used to house thousands of Afghan refugees following the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021. New Jersey Democrats released a joint statement obtained by Fox News Digital, which says, quote, using our country's military to detain and hold undocumented immigrants jeopardizes military preparedness and paves the way for ICE immigration raids in every New Jersey community. We have the greatest military in the world, and using it as a domestic political tool is unacceptable and shameful. This morning, a DHS spokesperson telling us in response that DHS is calling on politicians from both sides of the aisle to make communities safer. This news about these military bases comes just 2 weeks after the big, beautiful bill was signed into law, allocating $45 billion to expand immigration detention facilities and $30 billion to hire more ICE personnel for transportation costs and to maintain ICE facilities, among other spending. The funds, part of the Trump administration's efforts to carry out the largest deportation operation in the nation's history. Now, New Jersey already has two privately operated migrant detention facilities, Delaney Hall and the Elizabeth Detention Center. You may remember Delaney Hall was the scene of a clash between Democratic lawmakers and ICE agents back in May. Rich, back to you.
CB Cotton live for us in New York. CB, thank you. For more on this, let's bring in Arizona Congressman and member of the House Oversight Committee, Andy Biggs. Congressman, thanks very much for joining us. You heard the reaction from Democrats there. They say keeping migrants at a facility that's run by the military jeopardizes preparedness and is a domestic political tool. So do you think it's the right approach to be opening up military facilities to house migrants?
Yeah, I think I'm very comfortable with it, and I'll tell you why. These bases housed Afghan refugees, and that worked out pretty well. But not only that, we have to house people. That is the law that the Biden administration got around. And when you are an illegal alien and you are arrested in the United States, you're supposed to be detained until your status is determined. And so I'm comfortable with it.
So you look at some of what the big, beautiful bill does. It puts billions of dollars into deportations, immigration enforcement. So there's needed space here. Certainly, it seems, according to the bill, for more housing like this. Would you be comfortable opening it up to other military bases as well?
Yeah, because the federal government right now is trying to find land to put these soft-sided facilities on. The bases, some of the bases have a lot of vacant land, and if it doesn't impede on the mission, and I'm going to leave that in the hands of Pete Hegseth, but if it doesn't impede on the mission, then yes, I'd be comfortable with that.
The Department of Homeland Security is also talking an awful lot about how its agents, ICE agents, are getting doxxed. Basically, their identities are leaked, their addresses, personal information, things like that. On the other side of it, you've got a number of Democratic jurisdictions that are saying ICE agents got to take the masks off. Local police officers, they've got badges, they've got names, they've got identification. It leads to unaccountability if you've got people who are masked. What do you think about all that?
Well, here's the deal. The Democrats have been advocating doxing and violence against these officers. And these officers have received violence. They've also been doxed. Their families have been doxed. And when they show up, you know that they're wearing vests that say police, that says ICE. They have their badges displayed, but they're not displaying their faces because that's what the left and the radicals are trying to get at and attack these guys. So for their safety, then yeah, I think they do. It's okay to wear the mask, especially since they're wearing the identification showing that they are working as a police agent, either for the federal government or the state or local government.
So you're on the House Oversight Committee. You guys have been pretty busy investigating this autopen deal. This is from some of the testimony that you heard earlier last week?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution. On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution. On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Now, Biden aide Anthony Bernal also pled the Fifth, much like that. This is what Chairman Comer had to say. Today, the third witness in our investigation into the cover-up of President Biden's cognitive decline and unauthorized executive action pleaded the Fifth Amendment. There is now a pattern of key Biden confidants seeking to shield themselves from criminal liability for this potential conspiracy. Now, the chairman has also suggested on Fox News that perhaps because of that, the former First Lady Jill Biden should appear before the committee. Do you think the committee should compel her to testify?
I think we need to do everything else possible before we bring her in. If we need to bring her in, I think we need to do it. But we could offer immunity to these witnesses, and then that takes away their right to plead the Fifth Amendment. And that may be some way to get around this. But I mean, right now, Rich, when they're in there, we're lucky to get them to say what their name is before every question you could ask them, did you drive in today? And they're going to take the Fifth. It just doesn't matter. And it is a pattern, and they're trying to get around this. So we either have to grant immunity and get them in line so where they either answer the questions or get held in contempt. I think that's the first move before you bring in Dr. Jill.
You had a couple of witnesses, including Neera Tanden, who did answer some of your questions. Were you able to learn much that advanced this at all?
Not in my opinion. They didn't really advance the ball, and we're trying to move the ball forward, and they're playing hide it right now. And we're going to get to the bottom of this because this is probably the most serious political scandal in American history, in that you had somebody other than the president that was actually running the country. We just don't know who it is yet. And it looks like it might have been a congeries of people. So we're going to have to really buckle down on some of these people.
All right, Congressman Andy Biggs of Arizona, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Rich.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.